Hey there, my name is Jayson Quijano, and welcome to Draw My Life. And that's Jason with a Y. I guess I'll begin at my birthday, December 4th, 1995. It began in Canada, where everyone's super polite, ride polar bears, and pours maple syrup on anything they eat. I was born in Toronto, Ontario, Toronto East General Hospital to be exact. I was the son of my dad, Jayson Quijano, and my mom, Jayson Bunke. Even though I don't remember much of my childhood, I learn about it through pictures and stories of my family. Looking back at my baby pictures, I was actually a pretty chubby child, especially compared to how skinny I am today. One of the funniest stories I've heard about myself when I was a kid was when my cousin was changing my diaper. Midway through, I decided to just pee on her and do nothing but laugh afterwards. Sorry about that. A couple of months after I was born, when I was still just a baby, I guess my mom and my dad just didn't see eye to eye like they used to. Because of this, my mom took me to Scarborough, Ontario. This is where I lived under one roof with my mom, uncle, aunt, and 3 of my cousins. Throughout my childhood, I spent a lot of time with my cousins, Jermaine, Genesis, and Amabel. I remember one time they asked me what music do I listen to and who was my favorite artist. At the time, I listened to the music my mom listened to, which was a lot of Celine Dion, so I told them she was my favorite artist. The response I got from my cousins in return were blank, petrified faces. This was the moment when my cousins first introduced me to rap and hip-hop. This was also the moment where I was introduced to one of my favorite artists, Eminem. My cousins also introduced me to one of my favorite hobbies, playing video games. A couple of years after my mom and I lived with my aunt's family, we moved to Thorncliffe, Toronto, in a dinky apartment that just always felt horrible. This is where I went to elementary school, Thorncliffe Park Junior Public School. I remember my friends and I would always pretend to be characters from Sonic the Hedgehog. We would always spend our recess and lunchtime running around the schoolyard. One day a kid went up to my friends and I during recess. I don't remember what he said exactly, but whatever he said made me really angry. I did what any 7-year-old kid would do in this situation. I punched him in the face. This led to a week's detention for my friends and I. All we were able to do during this time period was read books. A couple of years later, my mom and I moved back to Scarborough, where we got a house with another one of my aunts. We lived in Scarborough during 2003, which was also the same year as the blackout. I remember having nothing but grape Kool-Aid to drink. I hate grape. I was in grade 3 at the time and transferred to Bendale Junior Public School. When I transferred to Bendale, it was already the second half of the school year. This made it hard to find friends since everyone had their own group. This is until one day, the kid who first showed me around the school decided to give me a hello and asked me if I wanted to be friends. After elementary school, I moved to the school which I referred to as the Box, or J.S. Woodsworth. This is where I discovered that I was actually good at math and playing the clarinet. 2 years later, I moved from middle school to David and Mary Thompson for another 4 years of torture. This is where I was first introduced to computer science with Mr. Wong. Computer science was one of the first classes which I actually enjoyed going to. I had a lot of fun programming and even made my first game. Computer science was the first class that I got over 90% on. It taught me that I was both a quick learner and I wanted this to be my major in university. In grade 11, I was introduced to video production with Ms. Chaneki. Here's where I found a love in both directing and editing videos. Around this time is when my cousin introduced me to fighting games and I considered him my mentor. He introduced me to one of my present day passions. I got really good at a game called Marvel vs. Capcom 3 to the point where I'd enter tournaments. My first team tournament I participated in, I thought my team would get first place. To my disappointment, my team actually got 6th place out of 8 teams. My first tournament taught me about respect, to always improve, and about independence. The fighting game community had quite an impact on myself. My personality, the way I act, the way I think, and the way I treat others. The words nerd, goof, geek, my religion, my ethnicity, my personality, my ethnicity again for some reason, the way I act with friends, the way I act with strangers. All these words are words that describe me, words that make me who I am, words that define me.